Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake, lived a cunning fox. This fox was renowned for his intelligence and trickery, often outsmarting the villagers and their animals alike. One scorching summer day, the sly fox was strolling through the vineyards when his keen eyes caught sight of a bunch of luscious, ripe grapes hanging from a nearby arbor. The grapes were plump and juicy, staining the wood below them with their deep purple hue. It was the kind of sight that made a fox's mouth water. But there was a problem. The arbor was tall and sturdy, and the grapes were just out of the fox's reach. He stood on his hind legs, stretched his neck as far as he could, even tried jumping, but those plump grapes remained tantalizingly out of reach. Now our fox had a reputation to uphold. He was known throughout the land for his cleverness, so giving up wasn't an option. He needed a plan, and he needed it fast. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the fox began his charade. He started howling, a long, drawn-out sound that echoed through the vineyards, a sound that spoke of great pain and suffering. The villagers, hearing this mournful cry, came running. "Oh, dear me!" exclaimed one woman. "What has happened to you, Mr. Fox?" "My leg!" cried the fox, his voice cracking with what seemed like pain. "My leg is stuck in a trap. I can't free myself. Please help me." The villagers, known for their big hearts, felt a pang of sympathy. They rushed forward, trying to figure out how they could help the distressed animal. The sly fox, seeing his audience gathered, put on a show. He thrashed about, yelping and whimpering, making it seem as though he was in great distress. Then came along a young girl who, unlike the others, wasn't buying the fox's act. She looked at him with suspicion. "Why are you doing this, Mr. Fox? Why are you lying to us?" The fox, taken aback by her sharp eyes and inquisitive nature, stopped his performance for a moment. But then, thinking quickly, he shifted his gaze to the grapes and feigned a longing. "Oh, if only someone could fetch me those grapes from the arbor, I would be saved. The sweetness would make a poultice and draw out the pain." Hearing this, the villagers fell for it once again. One of them, eager to be of service, immediately ran to get the grapes. When the sweet, juicy grapes were placed before the fox, he lapped them up with great relish, savoring not just the taste but also the triumph of his trickery. He purred with delight, his stomach full of grapes and his heart full of cunning. Meanwhile, the young girl who had seen through the fox's deceit approached him cautiously. "Mr. Fox," she said, her voice soft yet firm, "you tricked us. Why did you do that?" The fox, taken aback by her presence, paused for a moment. Then, seeing no further use in his deception, he simply shrugged, a sly grin spreading across his face. "Because I wanted them, and I got them," he said dismissively, his tone laced with a hint of amusement. The girl, though disappointed in the fox's behavior, wasn't willing to let it go. She stepped closer, her eyes shining with determination. "But that's not fair," she argued. "You made us waste our time and effort for nothing. You shouldn't have lied to us." The fox, surprised by her audacity, couldn't help but admire her spirit. No one, especially not a little girl, had ever dared to question his actions. He leaned back, his gaze meeting hers directly. "Little girl, I didn't mean to deceive you, but sometimes in life you have to be clever to get what you want." The girl, unfazed by his words, retorted, "That might be true, Mr. Fox, but if all you do is trick people and never share or be honest, what's the point of getting anything at all?" Her words struck a chord within the fox, echoing truths he had long ignored. Was his life truly just about accumulating possessions and outsmarting others? Had he become so consumed with his reputation that honesty and kindness had become foreign to him? The fox, lost in thought, didn't notice the girl walking away. Her words hung in the air like a challenge that the cunning fox couldn't ignore. As the days passed, the girl's words kept replaying in the fox's mind. The vibrant color of the grapes began to fade from his memory, replaced by a growing unease. His elaborate plans for acquiring new trinkets lost their appeal. Even his usual tricks seemed hollow. One evening, while watching the sunset over the lake, the fox realized that something was missing. He had all the shiny things a fox could desire, yet none of it brought him joy. The truth of the matter was that the fox had been living a life of illusion. He had confused desire for possession, and had done so for so long that he had forgotten the difference. The next day, the fox did something out of character. He went to the village square where the villagers had gathered. Standing before them, he said, "I want to apologize for my actions. I have been a trickster for too long, and I am sorry." The villagers, shocked by this unexpected display of remorse, were speechless. They had never heard the fox admit fault, let alone apologize. But the girl who had seen through his deceit from the start was still skeptical. She stepped forward, her eyes searching his. "Why are you doing this, Mr. Fox? Have you learned your lesson, or is this just another trick?" The fox met her gaze, his own eyes filled with sincerity. "I am being honest with you, child. I have realized the error of my ways." The girl, sensing the genuineness in his voice, nodded slowly. "If you are truly sorry, Mr. Fox, and if you have learned your lesson, we can perhaps be friends." The fox, overjoyed at the prospect of a genuine connection, couldn't help but smile. "I would like that very much, child." From that day forward, the fox became a part of the village community. He helped the villagers with their tasks, played with the children, and even offered his cunning skills to protect their crops from other animals. And most importantly, he was honest. The incident with the grapes became a village legend, a reminder that desire without effort is just illusion, and that sometimes it takes a little girl with a questioning mind to open our eyes to the truth. As for the little girl, she grew up knowing that she had not just outsmarted a fox, but had also taught him the valuable lessons of honesty and friendship.